Good morning and happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chum Change. This is live or recorded. For anyone that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Bitcoin hit 73,000, like, was it 400 or 200? I don't know, at some point while I was sleeping, but holy heck. Soon 74K, says Alvidas in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. All right, let's see who else is here and then we'll get into this. Mr. Ovalboard Tech, look at you showing up finally. First time this week. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for being here. We got Jim C in the house, Charles Harris, Andrew Masad, Dom G, good to see you. Lawnmower Man, let's see, Carl Coach, good morning, sir. Kyle Rosa, Nismo Miner, my man, Crypto Addict, good to see you. Good to see you. We have Green Hash in the house as always. Let's see, Black Hat Team, good to see you, buddy. I'm gonna mess up your name. I apologize. I'm not gonna try. Anthony Didizo, good to see you, buddy. Let's see, Steven Cicero and Boinker, my man. All right, let's get into this. $73,000 Bitcoin, and it's holding. It is holding. This is great. Look at that. 73,199 for Bitcoin. Ethereum, $4,054. Actually, the Dencun upgrade is actually today, if anybody's wondering. That is supposed to lower the gas fees on transactions, or lower the transaction costs. So we'll read a little article on that in a few. Solana, $154. We have AVAX at $53, up 12.57%. Looks like Matic's doing pretty good, 5% up on the day. $1.25. Let's see, ETC's at $37. ADA's at 76 cents. XRP is at 69 cents. Look at that. At least it showed up to the party. That's nice. TON, 23% up on the day, which is $4.44. Damn, has that been rocketing? What the hell's going on? TON, anybody into that? Let me know in the chat. Meme coins are coming back. Looks like Pepe's pumping again. Not sure what's gonna happen with the rest of them. Caspa's actually still being held down at 14 cents. There's a lot of BS going on with that Jeremy guy, the billionaire, talking about Caspa. He tells you to buy it. He claims he has a giant bag of it, but yet he's like causing FUD, I think, so he can buy more. I don't know what the hell's going on, but yeah, I don't know. Take these billionaires with a grain of salt, guys, because they're gonna lie, cheat, and steal their way to the top. That's how people get there. No offense, and no, that wasn't a dig at him personally, but just in general. All right, let's check out crypto bubbles. We have WIF, 15.9% up on the day. Look at that. That was down actually a lot yesterday. We have Toncoin up again 23.5%. Algorand up 14.3 at 32 cents. Let's see, Near is at 14.4% up on the day. We have Pepe again up 6.7. Quant looks like it is the second or third biggest at 60, ranking 69, up 17.1% today at $143. What is this? Arweave? Ave? No, this is, I don't even know what the hell this is. How do you even say this? Ave? Just Ave. So you say it. $153, 18.7% today. Let's see. Lido is up 9.9%. I wonder if we're going to see Ethereum blast off after this upgrade. I wonder. Ape is up 14.2 today. Everything looks pretty good. Everything looks really good. Starting to come back. I mean, we had a little pullback yesterday, but it is what it is. All right. Flashbang. Fear and Greed Index 81 on the extreme greed side of things. Again, I don't know, man. I think we're going to be hanging around here for a little while, to be honest. I think everything looks great, and we're like over that 75 mark. That really gets me going. So who knows? We'll see. ETC POW, oh my god, 7 cents. Yeah, that shit's a Ponzi. I'm sorry, I can't. It sucks. I should just remove that video. ETC POW, we'll check it out in a minute, but damn, that sucks. I feel bad for everybody that's in it. All right, let's see, top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, Lido Staked Ether, XRP, USDC, Cardano, and Dogecoin. Look at that. Looks like Avalanche did end up flipping Shiba back into 11th place at a $20 billion market cap. Shiba's right behind it with 19 billion. Not too bad. Could be worse. Tons in 13th. Damn, nice. Look at that. Litecoin in 22nd place. I'm just gonna scroll down a little bit and check things out. Litecoin's actually doing really well. It's nice to see it back up almost at $100. ETC again, almost $40. We got 37.01. Not too bad. Adira, this is one I feel like I should buy some of this, man. This needs to get on Tangem ASAP. I think they're supposed to be there at the end of this month, so as soon as it does, I think I'm gonna get some, just so I have a little bag of it, because I don't have any yet, and I I've heard some good things about it. I don't know about you guys. Let me know. Anyone got alts to shill to me? Hedera is actually one that I was I don't know, I think I'm gonna invest in. So there you go, there's an alt for you. Caspa I am invested in. I think it's a good time to buy right now. Accumulation phase is right about now, or so it seems. Let's check it out. Let's go to the you know, let's go to the 1 year. You can kind of see, pause the flag here, and then looks like we're going to be doing the same exact thing here. Hopefully we'll pop off to about 20-25 cents or so. That'd be nice. That would be nice. Let's see. TVK Virtua making moves, says Motu. Let's see. TVK, I never heard of it. Oh my god, 86% up. What is this? What is this? Hold on. 1 year. When did it come out? March. So it just came out the other day. Wait, hold on. Oh no, it's last year. It's a year ago. Mr. Rob Mines, thank you for the gifted membership, dude. Appreciate you. Perfect. Thank you so much. And Mr. Burn got it. Congrats, buddy. Yeah, so this is about a year ago, I guess, this coin. And yeah, it was at 4 cents. And damn, what made this pop off? I don't even know what this coin is. I'm gonna have to look into it. I have absolutely no idea what this is, and I did not mean to do that. All right, yeah, let's look over here quick. I saw this one too. They have trending coins, which is kind of cool. This orange, this is apparently this is an orange pill, right? Bitcoin, right? Look, I assume it's a meme coin, if I'm not mistaken. I would put money on it that it's a meme coin. But this just came out in January 30th, or on January 30th. Apparently, according to CoinGecko anyways. It could have been a little sooner, but I don't know. Is this one gonna be a good meme coin to buy? Who knows? It's got a low market cap too, 33 million. I was looking at that right before we started the stream. Anyways, yeah, let's continue. Let's look and see anything else popping out at you guys. Pepe, what do you guys feel about Pepe? Do you think this coin's gonna rocket or not? I can't decide if I want to put a little bit more into it or not. I only I threw $100 in like a while ago, long while ago, and it like 4x'd or something. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'll take the win. But at the same time, like, is this one gonna go stupid like the other ones? Like, this is only a $3.6 billion market cap. You look at Shiba, right? I mean, granted, obviously different level, it was around last bull run, but 20 million just about. And this, I mean, we saw this at 25. Sorry, 25 billion. I didn't mean to say million, I didn't say billion. 25 billion the other day. So these meme coins, they don't really have legs to stand on, but they kind of do at the same time. All right, let's move on to the mining segment of things. I want to get to a few videos today. We have the Bitmain Antminer KS5 Pro 21 terahash unit making $175 a day. The KS5 20 terahash unit making 167. We have the BMKS Max 11 terahash unit making $83.35 a day. We got to the Windminer K9 10.3 terahash unit making $81.84 a day. Let's go to the Ice River 8 terahash unit making 60. Oh, sorry, this is the KS3 rather. This is $62 a day. Mr. DJ Mine screaming his head off. We hit a new all-time high. Perfect. Appreciate you, Leo Lustig, for the $10 super chat. He said, just wanted to stop in and wish you all a great hump day. Hit those likes for CCXD. Thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate that. It means a lot. You're awesome. Again, we have the KS3M 6 terahash unit making $44 a day. That's still not too bad. That could be worse, right? Could be worse. And again, it's only at 14 cents right now, so don't get discouraged. This is still super profitable for machines. I mean, it depends how much you pay for these things, right? Let's see. Jazzminer X16P. Shout out to Jingle Mining. $27.82 a day. See, this thing, if this thing was much cheaper, like half the price, I think they would have like sold these units like hotcakes, to be honest, because this thing is actually really efficient. It did a really good job. I was able to do a video on it and borrow it for a couple weeks, and then it's just getting passed around to all the YouTubers. So we're gonna see what everyone else thinks of it. I know Max liked it. Let's see, the Bitmain Antminer K7 mining CKB 24.94 per day. What's up, Gundy, in the chat? Good to see you, buddy. Let's see, Mr. Max Voltage. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Extra raisin bran for you today. You're a good boy. Thanks for showing up. Oh, I made you laugh on your live stream. Ice River KS2 2 terahash unit making $14.55 a day. What else do we got? What is this? BMS3 Sia coin miner. Bruh. What is this? Anybody seen this before? Is this brand new? I don't want to click on it because whenever you click on thing, it makes like a big cha-ching sign. I mean, noise, and it freaking blows your eardrums. But 19 terahash unit, apparently making $12 a day on Sia coin. What? Hold on. I'm confused. Sia. Down to a penny again. It was up here and then it took a shit. Obviously I'm not a trader, not trying to, oh god, why did I do that? I always hit that, I always click it and I think it's gonna move and it doesn't. All right, yeah, I don't know. I mean, hey, look, it's actually, to be honest, it's actually getting higher lows, so that's actually a good thing. It was just kind of surprising, but anyways, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know much about I've never seen that unit before in my life, the BM S3. So hey, new Sia miner, if anybody's interested in Sia. We have the Antminer KA3. How's this thing doing? Cadena, $10 a day. Man, so many people got burnt on that unit. It's crazy. I swear I thought the Caspa miner was going to turn into this all over again, and it never did. Look at Flux. Very nice. Look at Flux. Flux, how's Flux doing? There is no Flux ASICs, by the way, but oh man, Flux is doing good. I'll just go myself because I yeah, definitely sold out of this, but that's awesome. Hell yeah, I'm happy for everybody that sold the Flux, to be honest. That's great. Good for you guys. Max, time to sell it all. $100, I mean $1.24. Oh my god, I wish. $1.24. All right, let's see. Scroll down here a little bit. Where is the S19K? It always gets lost on me. Where is it? I feel like it's higher than this. I don't have to search it. Let's see. S19K Pro, where are you? All right, I'm blind. I'm typing it in. S19K. There it is. 120 terahash unit making $7.85 a day. Why couldn't I find that? Why couldn't I find you? There we go. There we go. I'm just blind. All right, I got this thing down at Terra Hosting. It's making $7.85 a day. Again, we have the L7. Where's the L7? Right here. 9050. This is $14.73 a day. This has been killing it. Litecoin and Doge miners. Man, the L7's been around forever. I feel like it's been like 3 years, and this thing is still killing it in profitability. Yes, it was down, obviously, with the price of Dogecoin and Litecoin being down, you know, the past couple months. But now that it's coming back, it's like crazy profitable. It's ranked 21st. It's in the top 20. Oh, sorry. It's at the top 20, right? It's crazy to me. All right, anyways, KS0 Pros, where are those? So around here somewhere, making a couple bucks a day. Ice River KS0 Pro, 200 gigahashes, making $1.50. Oh my gosh, I almost caught a machine on fire yesterday. Did you guys see that short? I was sitting here after the live stream and I'm like editing the video. I hear a hiss. I turn around and one of my wires caught on fire, like straight up, like on fire, flames. Smelled like burning plastic. This whole place smelled like shit for like 2 hours. It was awful. I had to freaking rip the wires out. Scared the shit out of me. Oh my gosh. Anyways, all right, moving on to GPU. See what the most profitable GPU is over here. Pyron. What? Most profitable coin rather on GPUs is Pyron. Wow, Pyron must be coming back. Let's see where it's at actually, because haven't checked it in a long while. What's 21% up? What? Look at that. It's 23%, it says over here. 6 cents. Look at Pyron making a comeback. Interesting. Let's go to the all-time though. Like, see, this is I hate when coins start up here and, you know, just completely die off, because it makes you feel like the devs rugged you. But hey, listen, shout out to them. If it's profitable, mine it, swap it in what you believe in, you know what I mean? Hyper and Carlson's also on the top of the charts. Carlson, really? Jeez, Carlson's coming back too? What the hell's going on here? KLS, let's see. No, Carlson's down a little bit. It's actually, what? Weird. 1 cent and it's on this chart. Hyper and Lithium also. BTG's been doing pretty good actually. Chlor is killing it. Has anybody actually sold Chlor? Let me know. Conflex and Radiant, nice, not too bad. Nexa. All right, anyways, it's gonna be a flashbang as well. Let's check out new coins, see if there's anything new today. Nope, looks like Cubic still 6 days old. Again, no affiliation with any of these coins. Be very careful downloading anything to mine or hold these coins because you could get rugged or viruses. All right, let's see. Ethereum Dencun upgrade blast off. Ethereum price to hit new all-time highs this week with a question mark. We're gonna see what happens with this whole Dencun upgrade today. It's supposed to happen real soon. This article was like an hour ago or so. The key features to the Dencun upgrade. Following last year's Chappella upgrade, Dencun brings in several improvements to make Ethereum faster and handle more transactions. One exciting feature is the introduction of ephemeral data blobs with EIP 4844 nicknamed Proto-Dank sharding, which aims to significantly lower layer 2 transaction fees or L2 transaction fees. Dencun's goal is to drastically reduce transaction costs, with fees dropping from $1 to just 1 cent. I will believe it when I see it. $1 to 1 cent on Ethereum. Does anybody believe this? Does anybody believe this? Because I'm not sure I do, with the disgusting amount of gas fees that we pay right now. Even smaller transactions, which previously cost cents, can now be completed for a fraction of a cent. The cost reduction aims to greatly improve the user experience, surpassing previous upgrades like the September 2022 merge. Apparently this is like the biggest upgrade since the merge, so let's see how it goes. Besides the fee cuts, the Dencun upgrade introduces blobs. I still don't fully understand what a blob is. A new way to store data for a layer 2 network. These blobs store data for a shorter time, about 18 days, saving costs and making Ethereum more scalable. Apparently that's what the blob is. Weird. Community enthusiasm and developer involvement. Tim Biko, an Ethereum core developer, expressed excitement on Twitter about the upcoming arrival of the Dencun. Developers' engagement has been strong, with many client teams releasing Dencun compatible versions that include important performance and stability improvements. All right, if you guys want to read this, link is in the description below. Feel free to go check it out. But yeah, I figured that was pretty important, at least to bring it up and let you guys know. Again, this article was posted a couple hours ago. Yeah, I don't know why it says 11:40. Weird. Anyways, all right, let's move on to Yahoo Finance. We're going to get into the news segment of things. MicroStrategy executive chairman explains why he's bullish on Bitcoin, aka Michael Saylor, is on Yahoo Finance. Let's get into it, guys. Hit that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Well, despite declines for Bitcoin today, MicroStrategy shares, well, they're higher. TD Cowen raising its price target on the stock to $1,560. That's $1,560 after MicroStrategy increased its Bitcoin holdings by another 12,000 Bitcoin. The total holdings about 205,000 now. Joining me now, MicroStrategy Executive Chairman Michael Saylor. Michael, it's good to see you. It's been a little while.
Thanks for having me, Julie.
So
I love how he's got just the black shirt with the little Bitcoin logo.
I want to start. I know that you're bullish on Bitcoin. I think everyone knows by now that you see a long-term store of value in Bitcoin. And you have said that you see it as digital property as opposed to thinking of it as a digital currency. So if you could help me understand, as you add more to the company's balance sheet, what the sort of end game is for those holdings on MicroStrategy's balance sheet.
Yeah, well, we think Bitcoin is the highest form of property. It's the apex property in the world, and it's the best investment asset. So the end game is to acquire more Bitcoin. Whoever gets the most Bitcoin wins.
Well,
there is no other end game.
But Michael,
you know what's funny about him saying that? The fact that before this interview, him and BlackRock, like BlackRock flipped him and then he flipped BlackRock again, which is hysterical.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to understand is, so if I think of it as digital property, and I think of analogies, right? I think of a real estate company that buys property and holds on to other kinds of property. They may not be the apex, but whatever kinds of property. I think of an asset manager that buys all kinds of different assets. Eventually, they sell those assets in order to make profits. But I don't think that is your end game, right? You're not planning to sell the Bitcoin at any point. So kind of what is the purpose of it over time?
Well, let's keep in mind the fundamental principle. What's the use case of Bitcoin? It's capital preservation. So if you have $1 billion and you live in South America, or you live in Asia, or you live in Africa, and you want the capital to last for 100 years, you're not going to want to buy $1 billion company or $1 billion building or $1 billion of land in any place in Africa. You're going to have to find some other form of property that you can hold for a long period of time. Let's take New York City. Developers of New York City in 1776 didn't have an end game. They've been raising capital to invest in New York City real estate at the all-time high for 300 years. If you went and talked to them today and you said, what's your end game? They would say, well, we're going to keep investing in New York City. If you've ever talked to a person that owned an apartment in New York City, no one aspires to hold the apartment for a few years, sell the apartment, and move out of New York City. They put it in their will, they give it to their children, and if you ask them why, they say there's no better place on earth to live than New York. There is no place up from there. So New York City is the end game for people that want to live in the greatest city in North America. Bitcoin is the end game for anybody that wants to own the greatest property in the 21st century.
Well,
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. What do you guys think about that? That was kind of a cool analogy, actually.
I guess that is the case, but is there a price at which you would consider selling some of the Bitcoin, pulling out? So, I mean, because you can do something with New York City. You can live in New York City. You can have a business in New York City. What do you do with the Bitcoin besides it just gather value?
Real quick, in the chat, Frank said, let's go. BTC needs to break 75K by Friday. EU ETFs coming online this week. That's awesome. Hell yeah.
Well, the real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it. They're buying the real estate because they expect
because they want to sell it eventually, Michael. I mean, let's be honest. Most of the people who are, yes, sure, some people pass it on to their children, but like, most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit. So let
me say it a different way.
Okay.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, there's a name for them. We call them poor. Okay. Anybody that's rich in the world, they own property. They own large swathes of land. The royal family of England, it didn't sell all of its property in central London in order to buy currency or paper money, nor did the royal family of Japan, nor did the royal family in the Middle East. In fact, they want to own the property forever. I want you to imagine Bitcoin it's a city in cyberspace that's 276 blocks wide, 276 blocks high, 276 blocks deep, about 21 million blocks. Now imagine all 8 billion people in the world want to live there one day. They want to put their capital there. There's $900 trillion of wealth in the world. As people migrate from every other form of property and they've assets into cyberspace, you're going to see the Bitcoin network go from $1 trillion network to a 10x that to 100x that. And there really is nowhere else to go. It is the apex property of the human race.
So at some point, as the value of the Bitcoin on MicroStrategy's balance sheet grows, both because it's growing in absolute terms and maybe you're adding more to it, do you at some point down the line see being able to use it to transact, to invest in the business, to pay out a special dividend to investors, to buy other businesses?
We believe that the highest, best use of capital is to buy Bitcoin and hold the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is going to appreciate in value faster than the S&P index. It's going to appreciate in value faster than commercial real estate. And so there's no point in selling the winner to buy the losers. And Bitcoin is the winner. And so we're just going to keep acquiring Bitcoin with our cash flows, with equity or capital raises, any other accretive method that comes to mind.
Yeah, this guy's a savage. Jim C says, I freaking love this guy. Michael Saylor's the man. He really is. It's hysterical. He's like the poster child for Bitcoin. It's great.
Something else I've noticed as I've talked to different investors, different analysts, is that MicroStrategy is actually trading at a pretty steep premium to Bitcoin itself. According to one analysis that I saw today, as much as 90 to 100% premium to Bitcoin. Is that justified, and why do you think it's justified?
you just see him lean to the side and then he smacks her. That'd be such a funny clip.
Right now, an institutional investor that wants to buy Bitcoin has a choice of investing in the ETFs, of which BlackRock and Fidelity are very well known, or investing in some other company that has a Bitcoin strategy like MicroStrategy. You could think of the ETFs like ocean-going container ships. They can carry huge amounts of capital. You can invest $1 billion a day in the BlackRock ETF, so they could take on hundreds of billions of dollars of capital. They're not going to trade at a premium, but what they don't have is performance and leverage. MicroStrategy is different because our capital isn't, you can't redeem our shares, so it's possible for our shares to trade at a premium. We're an operating company, and that means when our shares trade at a premium, we can either raise capital through convertible debt or through equity. When we do that, we're doing it at a premium to the underlying assets. That captures an accretion for our underlying shareholders. So following a debt deal where we swap the debt for Bitcoin, our common stock shareholders have more Bitcoin per share than they did before the deal. So another way to say that is, if you want to pay 25 basis points and be 1-to-1 levered, then you would buy the ETF. But if you actually want to generate an accretion or a yield and not pay the fee and have leverage, then you would buy a stock like MicroStrategy. You could think of us as like, we're like air freight. We're Federal Express. We can take you faster, but we're never going to carry the same amount of capital in our payload as a supertanker or a container ship. So there's place for both of those strategies. And in fact, they're very complementary. I think the ETFs benefit from the existence of companies like MicroStrategy, and MicroStrategy benefits from the existence of the ETFs.
Yeah, certainly we've seen an uptick in adoption with the introduction of those ETFs. You mentioned the convertible offering. I am curious because it's not the only offering you've done. Of course, you've done others as a way of investing in more Bitcoin. What happens if the price goes down again precipitously? What happens to the capital structure of MicroStrategy?
Well, you can see, if you look at our past, there have been periods during the crypto winter when Bitcoin went from 66,000 all the way down to 16,000. In that case, we simply hold the Bitcoin. Instead of being 20% levered, we become 40% or 60% levered. The way that we raise the capital is using convertible debt. And so the convertible debt is a unsecured instrument. It's not marked to market. It doesn't come due except in 4, 5, or 6 years from the point that we issued it. And it's not secured against any other kind of capital. So we don't have to actually do anything. We just wait for the market to recover. And that's what we did in 22. And in 23, we recovered, and our shareholders benefited from the deleveraging as Bitcoin rallied in the other direction.
Nice. Shout out to Yahoo Finance for that. Very awesome interview with Michael Saylor. All right, let's move on. Bitcoin hits another record as volatility hovers at 2024 highs. As you guys know, we have hit a brand new all-time high, 73,150 as of right now. It hit 73 something, 400 maybe or so. I don't know. I was sleeping, wasn't awake for it. So anyways, let's get into it. Crypto World CNBC television, guys. That like button, appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Today, Bitcoin hits another record high. Grayscale proposes a new lower fee spinoff to its Bitcoin trust. And CoinShares completes its acquisition of Valkyrie's ETF business. We talked to the asset manager's CEO about its latest expansion into the US market. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Another day, another record high for Bitcoin as crypto investors keep testing how far they can push this year's rally. Around 10 a.m. Eastern, Bitcoin touched a new all-time high of $72,992, but had given back those gains by noon, dropping to the $71,000 level. Ether also in the red today, dropping,
As you guys know, this is at noon yesterday, so these prices don't matter.
below the $4,000 mark ahead of its next big tech upgrade scheduled for tomorrow.
Oh, also, there's what's it called? When you guys put in you should put in limit orders for Bitcoin if you're purchasing Bitcoin actively for like quick wicks. So like I had one at like 70,000 something and it hit yesterday. Just because it's a smart move. Always put something lower just in case it's a wick. So I have like I don't know, 5 or 10 different orders put in, but like at different increments, you know what I mean? If it spikes down to like 58,000 or whatever, you know what I mean?
But XRP rose to 70 cents in volatile trading.
Just a smart move.
Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Van Eck, the issuer of the HODL Spot Bitcoin ETF, that's ticker HODL, is slashing fees on the product to drive investment. In a post on X yesterday, Van Eck said it will waive the sponsor fee on its Bitcoin trust through March 31st, 2025, at least for the first $1.5 billion in assets. If the trust assets exceed that, the fee will be 0.2%. That will also be the fee for the trust after that March 31st end date. Now, at the top of that post, Van Eck said it's cutting the fee because it, quote, believes in Bitcoin so much, although its fund is lagging some of its biggest competitors. According to FactSet, HODL had about $306 million of assets under management, beating the likes of Franklin Templeton's EZBC, which manages about $205 million in assets. But it falls far behind BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust with $14 billion under management, or GBTC's $27 billion. Next, and speaking of GBTC, Grayscale wants to launch a smaller, lower-fee ETF under the ticker BTC as a spin-off of its flagship Grayscale Bitcoin Trust ETF. The asset manager filed a proposal to create the ETF through the mechanics of a corporate spin-off, which would let the company use a percentage of GBTC shares to seed the new fund. That means holders of GBTC would be able to access the mini ETF without having to sell their shares, thereby having to pay a capital gains tax in order to transfer them into the new fund. Grayscale did not disclose in the filing what the lower fee would be. And of course, Grayscale successfully campaigned to convert its legacy Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into an ETF, helping to force the SEC's approval of 9 new spot Bitcoin ETFs this year. However, its high fee of 1.5% annually stands out among its new competitors, and the fund has seen more than $10 billion in outflows since they began trading in January. All right, for our main story. Today, CoinShares announced that it's completed its acquisition of Valkyrie Funds, the investment advisory business of Valkyrie Investments, as well as the sponsor rights to the Valkyrie Bitcoin Fund. CryptoWorld's Talia Kaplan spoke with Jean-Marie Minetti, CoinShares CEO, about what that development means for the asset manager and for investors.
Big announcement for CoinShares today as it relates to your U.S. expansion efforts. CoinShares just
This is so weird. It's just like this giant TV. It's just talking to it.
completed its acquisition of Valkyrie's ETF business. Valkyrie, of course, is one of the 11 asset managers that got the green light from the SEC back in January to start offering spot Bitcoin ETFs. So I'm wondering why Valkyrie and what does this acquisition mean for CoinShares?
The CoinShare has been doing this job for 10 years. We've been doing in the crypto market for 10 years and been doing investment product for European investors for 10 years. So we had an ambition to transform what is today as a European leader in digital asset management into a global franchise. And to transform our ambition into action, we need to get something in the US. The US is the biggest market in terms of allocation of AUM. So having worldwide ambition without having a play in the US was not exactly aligning with our ambition. So something has to be done. We took our time to find something. It was not something we did in a hurry. We have been watching the US for a long, long time. And the timing was just about perfect at the end of September when the opportunity came around and I would say the SEC was starting to move in the right direction with BlackRock filing. So all the kind of stars were aligning for CoinShare to be making an entry in the US asset management market.
Now, you referenced this, but CoinShares started offering spot products in Europe in 2015. And so obviously you have a lot of experience in this space. But how else can CoinShares differentiate between all the competition here in the US? There are a lot of ETFs trading right now. So what makes yours different?
I'm gonna do Saturday Night Live like this now. I'm just gonna have the guys on a big TV. Is that cool, Crypto KJ? Is that what you want me to do? Listen, it's different, all right? It's weird.
I will say, think about Oakland Athletic during the Moneyball movie. It doesn't, we maybe not having the biggest resources or the biggest money to spend on becoming a bigger brand in the US, but we have the strongest scoring when it comes to batting statistics. So we know what we're doing. We have the resources to deploy ourselves in the US properly. And we also have very differentiated products. We have an ETF called WGMI. WGMI has been doing a great score in 2023. It was the best performing ETF in the US in 2023. So there is something to build on. We just launched last week a Bitcoin leverage product as well, a 2x leverage product. That's kind of differentiation from the other player. So yes, Bitcoin spot has been, I would say, commoditized by the competition like the BlackRock and Fidelity. But we have been doing Bitcoin spot, as you said, 10 years ago. So the question is like, okay, what do we do differently? What do we do new? How do we start bringing differentiation to the market and almost like an orthogonal offer? So as we're not just a Bitcoin spot provider, we're much more than that. And we announced before in the US the launch of our hedge fund solution. So there is a different few lines of product we can expand into the US.
Now, CoinShares plans to use the Valkyrie ETF infrastructure to develop its U.S. asset management business. So take us through your asset management platform. How will it work exactly, and what can people expect?
Yeah, so the asset we are acquiring, effectively, I will trying to make it very simple. It's an IRA license company, along with a 33 Act platform and a 40 Act platform. These two platforms allow us to bring a very different type of products to market, some very passive ETF, but also some much more actively managed ETF. And the combination of the two give us a very, well, at least a capacity to offer to the market something very different when it comes to digital assets.
So Bitcoin is up about 65% so far this year, and the cryptocurrency reached a new all-time high this morning, just under $73,000. So what do you think is driving the current rally, and how does it impact CoinShares, especially with this acquisition in the mix?
Look, I think Bitcoin is an hyper asset. Bitcoin is one of these assets which is a lot of things at one time, but more importantly, it is a currency with finite supply and unlimited trust. And that gives it the kind of payoff of a non-linear asset. Because effectively, when you look at Bitcoin price, you don't really look at the price appreciation. You're looking at the adoption curve. And what you're looking is very much a Metcalfe or Moore law, more than just on the price appreciation. And if you look at the penetration rate right now in the US, we're about 12%. So the capacity to keep progressing is just in front of us. So net, the US, despite all these ETF you mentioned before, is still a kind of a field of opportunity for Bitcoin adoption. The big warehouse are still not in the game. The big insurance company are still not in the game. There is plenty of adoption still at the corner. And CoinShares want to be positioned to be part of this journey.
Do you anticipate the momentum will continue and we'll continue to see a Bitcoin rally, or do you think a steep correction is something that's on the horizon?
Look, everybody tried to get me to give some price indication. We have a long-term, mid-term view and more than just like the next 5 minutes. So we're not looking at it just as traders' eyes, but more as long-term investor. Our journey started in 2013 actually in crypto, and we kind of like looking at that on the multi-decade, multi-generation kind of glasses. One thing which is approaching is the halving. The halving is always a very discussed point in the Bitcoin narrative. There is, since the ETF launch, the kind of asymmetry between offer and demand has been very important. I think, the average daily Bitcoin inflow into this ETF is around 4,500 Bitcoin per day, whilst the newly supply is only 921 Bitcoin. This newly supply is going down by half of it in a few weeks' time, and that's just going to accelerate. Of course, the halving is a big, I would say, deep movement, and it's not repercuted. It doesn't have an implication in terms of price immediately, but it is a transformation move. the implication of that kind of reflect as well against the new supply of gold, and the Bitcoin supply is about to go down from 1.9% per year to 0.9% per year. That's the first time in the new supply that we are now below the new supply of gold. And in the kind of legacy kind of fight, kind of a far distance battle between Bitcoin and gold for allocation of store of value of kind of like this ultimate asset, uncorrelated asset, it's kind of a very, I would say, tipping point for Bitcoin in this combat.
Okay, that's all.
Interesting. Sorry, his accent really got me left field squirrel. But anyways, shout out to CNBC Crypto World for that. All right, let's move on to the videos of the day. So this video, I started watching a little bit of it and I stopped. I want to watch it with you guys. Sell your crypto, but for what? This is from Lark Davis. Again, links in the description below. If you guys are interested, feel free to go check them out. Let's do it.
Do you know what's harder than buying crypto? Selling crypto and at a huge profit. It's something that really screws a lot of people's heads.
He is so true, or so correct in this aspect, because you think it's going to go up forever and it doesn't ever do that, right? Everything has to have a pullback at some point. So just pay attention. It's probably a good video to hear out.
That sell button in times of euphoria can feel like you're killing the golden goose. You want the golden eggs, baby, and it keeps making more. But one day it won't. In this video, I'm going to give you some thought-provoking anecdotes and examples that I hope will help you walk away with life-changing gains at the end of this market cycle instead of riding your bags down to zero. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why would you even sell? Aren't we just going to go up forever? Aren't we investing in the future of finance here? Well, look, we know that many altcoins simply aren't going to make it into the next market cycle. So you don't want to marry your bags and go down with the ship. There's not really a reason to, unless you just love pain. But what about Bitcoin? Isn't Bitcoin going to go up forever? Well, who knows? Hopefully, obviously, and sure, there's a lot of truth to Bitcoin bull Michael Saylor's reasons for not ever selling his Bitcoin. Indeed, why sell the winner to buy the loser? In his argument, the loser, of course, being the US dollar, as it just keeps losing value against BTC for basically the entire 15-year straight of Bitcoin's existence. It's all true.
Not wrong.
But let's bring friend of the show, Warren Buffett's quote in mind here.
You know, this mofo drinks Coke every day. He has a soda every day. He's like 90-something years old. That his stomach has got to be made of steel.
And I paraphrase, but this: a concentrated bet builds wealth, but diversification preserves your wealth. Your concentrated bet on crypto throughout a bull market builds your wealth. But
yeah, no, I know he owns Coke. I know, but he actually drinks it, which is surprising. This is really bad for you.
preserve your wealth across the bear market and for years to come, you may want to consider diversifying some of your money into other assets. Assets whose price trajectory is ideally not too correlated with the cryptocurrency market. But Lark, I fear I won't be able to bring myself to push the sell button. I feel nauseated having to give up my eternal coins for shitty fiat. I get it.
You know what? I'm going to actually have that issue with Bitcoin, right? When it comes to the point of the euphoria in the market, I know I'm not going to want to sell my Bitcoin. Everything else I know is going to be a struggle, but it'll be way easier than Bitcoin. You guys feel the same way? Let me know in the chat. I'm really interested to know if you guys are going to have no emotional connection. I know you're not supposed to, but I mean, listen, it's human nature. Everybody's going to have some sort of connection with selling, right? There's always that, like, in the back of your brain, it's going to keep going. But it's just, you have to sell it. You have to take profits. If you don't take profits, you don't have a plan, you're going to be screwed. And that's just it.
I get it. View this way. Ultimately, you won't sell your crypto in exchange just for dollars to stick under your bed or whatever your local currency is. Instead, you're going to sell it for what these dollars can buy you. Something of lasting value that has meaning to your life. And before we get into that, keep in mind that Bitcoin, of course, here is the exceptional crypto asset. I personally will be holding most of my Bitcoin for another decade, maybe more. Keep that in mind. Altcoin profits, those can be moved into Bitcoin later on, the same way you might move it into other assets like real estate. Selling altcoins to get more Bitcoin is a tried and trusted way to get more Bitcoin in a bull run. You can just buy Bitcoin here too. That's fine. When it comes to altcoins, chances are if you don't sell during the bull run, then you will have deep deep regrets in the bear market. Everyone feels like a genius going up and an idiot going down. So what kind of lasting value are we talking here? Well, first, let's talk about security and freedom. Here's an anecdote from Morgan Housel's great book, The Psychology of Money. Derek Sivers, a successful entrepreneur, once wrote about a friend who asked him to tell the story about how he got rich. He said, I had a day job in Midtown Manhattan paying $20,000 per year. That was about the minimum wage at the time. I never ate out. I never took a taxi. My cost of living was about $1,000 a month, and I was earning about $1,800 a month. I did this for 2 years, and I saved up $12,000. I was 22 years old. Once I had $12,000, I could quit my job and become a full-time musician. I knew I could get a few gigs per month to pay my cost of living. So I was free. I quit my job a month later, and I never had a job again. When I finished telling my friend this
I was always wondering if he had a teleprompter, and now I know for a fact he does. But that was pretty good.
story, he asked for more. I said, no, that was it. So he said, no, what about when you sold your company? I said, no, that didn't make a difference. It didn't make a big difference in my life. That was just more money in the bank. The real difference happened when I was 22. Now, look, that's the story. Okay, that's the story there. I love this story as it shows how dollars in the bank, even relatively modest amounts, can actually buy you options in life. It can buy you the freedom to choose your own path, which is really what we're all going for after with money anyway, to no longer be a wage slave. Paying off your student debt, that can release you from a massive financial and psychological burden, which will definitely improve your quality of life enormously. Now, look, we dunk on fiat a lot in crypto land, and for a damn good reason, because cash is trash. But let's not forget that being debt-free and having a cushion of savings can buy you a lot of security and peace, which is priceless. And let's be honest, crypto with its price volatility doesn't always give you a lot of peace. Crypto. So even the lowest form of asset, a fiat currency, can buy you something quite precious. Time, peace, freedom. But let's look at another traditional asset class that has bought people security since the dawn of civilization, and that's real estate. Because it's still true that money in a savings account is going to lose its value over time. Holding lots and lots of cash, it's a melting ice cube. Well, real estate will keep its value. One home equals one home, after all. Real estate is, of course, clunky, and it's not very liquid, and it comes with so many dumb hassles. And let's not forget about being expensive, insurance and taxes and plumbers and all this BS. That being said, over the next few years, I am strongly considering building a real estate portfolio. Now, an alternative to buying a home, of course, would be to invest in a real estate investment trust, a REIT, basically a stock-like asset that you can buy through your local broker. I own those. I like those. They seem like a nice fit for what I do. Another option is gold.
Hey, that wasn't a burn. He was just saying plumbers are expensive, and they are. Good at what we do. That's why I'm glad to be a plumber and have rental property. I can do everything myself.
Now, why would I invest in a shiny rock, you ask? Well, look at the chart of real estate to gold. It shows you how many ounces of gold it has historically cost to buy an average American home. Now, it fluctuates, of course, over time, but it's still pretty damn remarkable to see that the amount of gold a house cost you in the 1930s is about the same as now. That's pretty crazy, huh? Now, gold may be a pet rock for boomers. I get it. But it still does serve a purpose in some people's portfolios, not for everybody. You can, of course, buy the actual coins. You can buy a paper ETF as well. Whatever trade-off you prefer between extra security, the physical stuff, and just the easy use, the paper stuff. Now, I personally own some gold, but it's a very small percentage of my total net worth, my overall portfolio.
And how much do you want to bet that it's gold like in ETF form, not gold in like physical condition?
Actually sure I would buy any more, to be honest, just because it doesn't produce any cash flow. Now, before I talk about the next thing of lasting value, let me introduce you.
Nope, we're not going to listen to your stupid newsletter thingy.
For free, use the link down below in the description. Okay, now, the crowd of financial advisors out there who are skeptical of Bitcoin tend to overlap a lot with the gold skeptics. In both cases, they rightly argue that these assets are not productive. It's true. They don't bring you any yield. Unlike stocks or bonds, these assets just sit there and preserve your value, but they don't create more value per se. They don't have cash flow. Traditional portfolios are often a combination of assets with and without yield. So maybe it's an interesting idea for you to distribute some of your crypto bull run market profits from all those sweet, sweet dog coins and stuff into something more solid, stocks, bonds. For example, you would have done pretty nicely had you sold some of your BTC around the previous top and put some of that money into a US money market fund with a 5% yield, which sounds really boring right now. But you could have cashed out the yield, reinvested the principal back into Bitcoin before the next bull run. Obviously, that's all easier said than done, and not very many people would have been able to successfully do that anyway, but still, food for thought. But if you're not a fan of bonds, and I'm not personally, then dividend stocks become a very interesting option. There are a lot of dividend stock index funds, for example, where you can let your money work for you. Now, I actually own a lot of individual dividend stocks, as well as some dividend ETFs for property markets or stuff like that. I enjoy the residual income and the diversification that they offer. It's pretty nice to get those payouts. But maybe you're a tech optimist. Well, then technology stocks could become an obvious bet for you as well. Investing some of your profits back into tech companies is a bet on human ingenuity and creativity over time. Technology stocks often don't pay dividends, though. Perhaps a slight problem. But their prices can appreciate pretty fast, so maybe it doesn't matter if you're getting dividends. That being said, a word of warning here, because they have the same risk-off factors that crypto does. So if your crypto coins are going to go down because of wider macro situations happening in the markets, your tech stocks are probably going to get savaged as well and go down dramatically. So be careful with your timing. You might want to sit in fiat for a bit in that situation, buy your hot tech stocks when the prices go down a little bit. But hey, maybe you can even keep all this stuff a bit closer to home. Financial independence is your goal. If that is your goal, of course, you might as well invest in you. Maybe you have a small business idea that you want to start. You can be your own productive asset, your own creative genius. Why not put your profits to work right there for you in your own business? You can't control crypto prices. You can't control stock prices, but you can control your own output into a business that you love. And that might give your life more purpose than it has right now, working for some 9-to-5 slave wage job. Ever think of that? Maybe you should. But Lark, is there also some fun to be had out here? Or is everything just about getting a productive life and getting more returns and more percentages and more APYs? I get it. Look, after security and creativity, that brings me to the final thing that money can buy you, and that's quality time, the most valuable asset on the planet. If your profits can buy your family a once-in-a-lifetime adventurous holiday, by all means, do it. If you can buy a sabbatical and finally learn surfing or singing or a new language or just live life on your own terms, by all means, go for it. Quality time is the ultimate currency of life. Having free time is likely the end goal for most of you listening. It's not just about getting watches and fancy cars. You can get that too if you make enough money. It's fine. Right? I got some nice watches. It's all good. Having said all this, though, keep in mind that you don't have to sell everything either. You can take only some profits off the table, which is something a lot of people, I feel like, don't even realize. You just diversify your portfolio out a little bit. I got too many dog coins, so I'm going to buy some dividend stocks. Change the risk portfolio a bit. Have some shorter term and longer term goals. So you formulate both those shorter and longer term goals, figure out what they are. Maybe the short term goal is getting out of your college debt. So you're going to take some high risks to try to do that. Ideally, of course, you'll have some coins left in cold storage for your longer term goals. Where is Bitcoin going to be in 10 or 20 years? Think about that and invest thinking about that. That's a retirement fund or buying a home. Now, at the risk of sounding a bit preachy, just hear me out on this. While basking in the glow of your green numbers on your portfolio app feels good in the moment, you're a genius, right? Just pause for a second to realize it's not about the numbers on the screen, but about the life that these numbers can buy. If you have life-changing money on the table, change your life. It's about having options and not having...
That's the biggest thing here. Like, if there's life-changing money on the table, take it. Don't be stupid. It's not going to continue. And if it does, oh well, you still made out, right? That's like the biggest thing to take away from this video. He's just kind of rambling on at this point. So I'm going to stop this, but if you guys are interested, go check him out. Feel free. Yeah, I don't know. Just take everything people say with a grain of salt, obviously. All right. Altcoin Daily. Let's see what he's got to say over here. Bitcoin price 6 months warning, ADA and ETH news. Let's get into it. Obviously, he's going to be talking about the Dencun upgrade that's happening today at some point. And yeah, Let's see. I haven't seen it yet.
$200,000 by the end of the year. You know, a few months ago, that would have sounded pretty out of this world. What do you say are the catalysts that could drive Bitcoin to that level?
$200,000 Bitcoin price by end of year is now possible.
Listen, let's break 100K before we start talking about 2, but I hope.
Things are changing in a big way. Many are getting left behind, with demand outstripping supply and supply being squeezed dry. Everybody talks about these ETFs, and for good reason. I mean, this is why Bitcoin is breaking all-time highs, but there's so much more demand than just what's coming from the ETFs. Understand, analysts are doing the math, and analysts have figured out that Bitcoin has about 6 months before we really start seeing a massive supply crunch. 30 days until the halving, 6 months or less.
Oh, look at this, actually. Mr. Crypto KJ, thanks for this. 55 minutes. Countdown to the Dencun upgrade. All your Ethereum's going to be erased forever. I'm just kidding.
Until a huge supply crunch, Bitcoin could easily hit $200,000 by end of the year. Here's why.
Yes, last time we were here, our target was 100,000. We're currently revising that to 200 by the end of the year, if not higher indeed. The approvals of the ETFs were a big catalyst, global event. Not only did this open the door to a wider adoption of the assets here in the US, but also the narrative has shifted globally. I was in about 5-6 countries in the last month or so, and the conversations with investors had changed significantly. We saw yesterday the UK opening the door for the crypto-backed ETNs. We had 10 issuers filed for spot Bitcoin ETFs in Hong Kong the day after we saw the approvals here in the US. So we still continue to believe that 40-50 billion AUM in the first year for the ETFs in the US is beyond the realistic estimate. And that demand, not to mention the demand outside of the US and the halving around the corner, will be putting a tremendous pressure on the Bitcoin price.
She's taking a page out of Kathy Wood's book with the glasses. That's what she's doing. Crypto KJ.
Is yet for us to see, in my opinion.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Raleigh. How do you know that the halving has not really been priced in already?
Well, if we look simply at the supply demand, right? Like we currently have miners providing about, 900 Bitcoins a day. And in mid-April, this number is going to go down to 450 Bitcoins a day. And we're seeing about 10,000 Bitcoins per day demand. So even if people are pricing it in at the moment, I think simply by supply demand, we'll definitely see that pressure on price.
Smash the like button, guys. I'm trying to help you understand what's actually going on in the cryptocurrency market. Understand that BlackRock bought about 500 million worth of Bitcoin yesterday. Listen, the price goes in ebbs and flows, but
500 million worth of Bitcoin yesterday. That's crazy.
ETF buyers are the type of buyers who don't really care about that. They're just going to keep on buying.
They're an interesting sort of buyer in that they are indiscriminate to where the price is. The ETF will just keep buying. They do not care if it's the wrong time to buy, if it looks, if it's been 10 straight days of it going higher and the RSI is at like 95, they do not care. And I think that's something that the market will kind of have to get used to, is that we will start to see these consecutive runs where we start to push the edges of maybe technical indicators and things start to feel frothy, and it will just keep on going. So I actually think we're just going to keep on going higher, provided that, we haven't got some massive macro meltdown. But yeah, the nature of this buyer does not care if it's driving Bitcoin up 5% every week. It will just keep on buying.
So the ETFs are one of the biggest reasons why Bitcoin continues to rally. But it's important to remember, it's not just the ETFs. There are many verticals of demand. For instance, Drake posted a Michael Saylor Bitcoin video to his 146 million Instagram followers. In this video that 146 million people were introduced to, Michael Saylor said that Bitcoin will eat gold.
Bitcoin is certainly at least digital gold. It's going to eat gold. It's got all of the great attributes of gold, and it's got none of the defects of gold. If you could teleport gold from New York to Tokyo in a few minutes, people would like it.
And again, remember, Michael Saylor doesn't talk about a $100,000 price prediction. Michael Saylor doesn't talk about a $200,000 price prediction. Michael Saylor talks about bare minimum, Bitcoin takes the market cap of gold, putting Bitcoin at least $500,000 per coin. Guys,
which it's not out of the realm of possibilities, but I don't think it's going to be like this cycle for that high, right? My financial advisor is Drake, says Carl Coate.
Remember, there will always be big dips, even in bull markets, even 30 to 40% dips, even dips that take 4 or 5 weeks to play out. But remember this too, whenever Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, Bitcoin always enters price discovery mode. Then people ask, well, how much is Bitcoin actually worth? And if you study the Bitcoin price chart, you see every time Bitcoin broke through all-time highs, it really shot up there really fast. So be prepared. Somebody's buying real quick, my friends.
Nope. Skip that.
The Ethereum ETF on the horizon could get approved in May, doesn't necessarily have to, will get approved at some point, and people are opening up their eyes. The Ethereum ETF is going to pay out yield. Everybody underestimates this. Ethereum's supply decreases. Bitcoin's supply flow decreases. Ethereum's supply decreases. Ethereum will be explosive with an ETF. Ethereum is looking good in general, particularly with a major upgrade happening tomorrow, the Dencun.
Today, actually, in 49 minutes now.
Upgrade. This upgrade, among other things, will make Ethereum L2s so much more usable, so much more cheaper. And taking a look at the Ethereum L2 ecosystem, monthly active users, wow, even just a year ago, it was so much less, so much more today, and on the uptrend, Ethereum L2s have millions and millions of users. I think that can only increase with the Dencun upgrade. And then, after that, what comes next?
If we need to, we can stop there. We're not going to stop there, right? And we want to kind of like go ahead and try to actually make sure that the Ethereum ecosystem gets support 500 million users before the bull where 500 million users are knocking on the door actually ends up happening. That's probably the next part of the future, the transition from Ethereum as this kind of very theoretical ecosystem that's still discovering and finding itself to Ethereum as an ecosystem that actually is, tries to be useful and usable and, secure and all of those things and like actually provide value for hundreds of millions of people.
With Cardano now integrated into pilot programs in the UAE's criminal investigation force.
What? Weird. Real quick, 100 Air said, who really thinks Ethereum ETF has a chance for first round approval? I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest, either. I think it's going to be pushed off. He's just going to delay it as far as they can, to be honest, but it's going to be a hard delay now that Bitcoin is able to have an ETF, right? So I guess we'll have to see.
By police breaking the news at World Police Summit the other day, with coins like Injective Protocol recently surpassing 500 million on-chain transactions and today breaking above all-time highs. Do you remember how often we talked about Injective near its lows? Everybody's talking about Injective now. We told you about Injective years ago, and we kept telling you. Guys, if you're interested in buying crypto...
Nope. All right, just going to chill for the rest of the time. Anyway, shout out to Altcoin Daily for that. All right, one more. I didn't get to watch this yesterday, so the crypto market's going to get absurd. Let's see what he says. And he puts Donald Trump for just for clickbait. Anyways, hit that like button, guys. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
And after the halving, shouldn't it be 140,000 immediately if it's worth 72 now?
Bitcoin continues to get bought up like crazy as Michael Saylor gives his Bitcoin halving prediction.
As for your second question, the halving.
Donald Trump speaks favorably on Bitcoin.
Well, it's taken its own life. I do little things sometimes for fun and, make money with it.
As Ethereum,
aka NFTs and all that stuff.
Next major upgrade to launch in 2 days.
So the amount of data that goes on chain goes down by...
Again, the Dencun upgrade for anybody that's just joining is happening in like 45 minutes or so.
Maybe about a factor of 10.
This is everything you need to know about crypto.
Do you have any thoughts now on crypto?
Well, it's taken its own life. I do little things sometimes for fun and, make money with it, but I have fun with it too.
You mean
NFTs,
you bought Bitcoin?
No, but I sometimes will let people pay through Bitcoin or will let people get involved.
So he let people pay through Bitcoin, which I would assume that he still holds that Bitcoin somewhere, wherever they paid it to.
involved in a new, if you think of it, it's an additional form of currency. And I used to say, I want one currency. I want the dollar. I don't want people leaving the dollar. And I feel that way. But I will tell you, it has taken on a life.
Now Trump is about to get a little off track here, but he does relate this back to Bitcoin.
I did a thing that people smile at, but it was wild. We did 1,000 sneakers, so limited edition sneaker run. The last one.
Say stickers or sneakers? What did he say?
And you could go through, our crazy new currencies, because that's what I call them. They're crazy, whether it's Bitcoin or others. People were going crazy for these sneakers. You probably were too. Everybody was. I have every
sneakers. I thought he said stickers the other day. Sneakers, really? What?
Every friend I have has called me for a pair of sneakers. So it just took off.
Yeah,
and I noticed that so many of them were paid for with this, with the new currency. And it's a new cryptocurrency. And I couldn't believe the amount. And I'm saying, this thing has really, and other things I do, people are using it.
And in the culmination of this clip, Trump suggests he would not crack down on Bitcoin or other cryptos.
I'm very much a traditionalist. I like staying with the dollar. You know that from when I was there. It's make the dollar the choice. I hate when countries go off the dollar. I would not allow countries to go off the dollar, because when we lose that standard, that will be like losing a revolutionary war. That will be a hit to our country, just like losing a war. And we can't let that happen. And too many countries now are fighting to get off the dollar. And but I have seen there has been a lot of use of that, and I'm not sure that I'd want to take it away at this point.
And the buying in the Bitcoin ETFs is still happening. The first 2 months officially in the books felt like 6. And the 10 Bitcoin ETFs now have over $55 billion in assets, with exactly double that in volume at $110 billion. If these were the numbers at the end of the year, I'd call them a success. To do this in 8 weeks is simply absurd. Bitcoin's market cap has also officially surpassed silver. We are climbing the charts, now just under Amazon and Alphabet, with gold an 11x away.
Bitcoin is certainly at least digital gold. It's going to.
That is crazy that Bitcoin's that close to gold overall.
Gold. It's got all of the great attributes of gold, and it's got none of the defects of gold. If you could teleport gold from New York to Tokyo in a few minutes, people would like it.
Bitcoin is going to eat gold, says MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor. In fact, just today, MicroStrategy announced they have acquired an additional 12,000 more Bitcoin. Michael explains why.
You can trade it 1 million times faster than conventional assets using a computer. It's available. Most other assets only trade less than 20% of the time. Bitcoin's trading 168 hours a week. We bought $800 million of Bitcoin, and a lot of it we bought over the weekend when all the conventional markets are closed. It's global. It's the most widely recognized and trusted investment asset in the world right now. It's ethical because it's the king of all commodities. There's no issuer. There's no company. There's no country controlling it. And fundamentally, it's useful. Thousands of market makers can trade it all the time. Millions of companies can trade it. Billions of people.
And the Bitcoin halving just about a month away.
The selling in the market for the past month.
Isn't that nuts to think about? The Bitcoin halving's only about a month away. That's nuts. I mean, obviously, it's depending on how many blocks and all that stuff, but like it's roughly a month away from today, or in 2 days, right? Like 15th or so.
It's been primarily bankruptcy estates that are liquidating GBTC at FTX or Genesis or the like. Once they got done rebalancing, the natural sellers are the miners. The miners can only sell 900 Bitcoin a day right now. They're only going to be able to sell 450 Bitcoin a day coming the end of April.
And that's if they even sell it, right? We only have 900 a day right now, 450 after the halving, if they sell everything that's mined. So
as long as there's more demand in the market than the 450 Bitcoin a day, there isn't any catalyst to drive this asset down. It has no cash flows. The critics think that's a defect. It's a feature. With no cash flows, no quarterly results, no product cycles, this is the longest lived asset in the financial ecosystem with the least uncertainty. We're buying it to hold it 100 years. So that being the case, that $66,000 to $16,000 crash, that shook out the tourists, that shook out the non-believers. When it was 16,000, we were all ready to write it to zero. And that's what you'll find with the Bitcoin maximalists. So now we're riding it the other direction.
And even with the European Central Bank trying to convince you that Bitcoin failed, Bitcoin has failed to become a global decentralized digital currency.
It doesn't have to be a currency. Nobody's trying to buy a cup of coffee with a fraction of their building on Fifth Avenue, right? But there's
That's such a good point.
But every rich person I know owns property in London or New York City or somewhere, and none of them complain about not being able to spend their building to as a medium of exchange.
That's so true.
The killer application is capital preservation for everybody. The store of value is the killer use case. Medium of exchange is a distraction. Governments are always going to issue currency. They're always going to make it legal tender, and that's just fine. Bitcoin's competing with gold. It's going to eat it.
And in less than 2 days,
Crazy.
Ethereum's
less than 2 days. Actually, less than less than 40 minutes. Right now, less than 40 minutes away.
Dencun upgrade will launch. This is the most anticipated upgrade since the merge. And ETH's Dencun upgrade could be a milestone for Layer 2 scaling solutions, as it is expected to significantly reduce the transaction fees of Layer 2 networks on ETH and enhance Ethereum's overall scalability.
I wonder what's going to happen.
Instead of publishing all these transactions, you publish this like tiny compressed blob, right? So the amount of data that goes on chain goes down by maybe about a factor of 10. Right? And then the second thing is that you don't do the computation on-chain. Instead, you do the computation off-chain.
The fee reduction promised for L2 users won't directly affect users transacting on the mainnet, although it'll pull people to the sidechains, which is good. But in the short term, users who wish to benefit from this fee change must sacrifice some decentralization and security by transacting on L2s instead of ETH. Actually, speaking of security, I just interviewed the CEO of Hacken, one of the major auditors in the space. Also, big news for Injective, $500 million. Injective has surpassed 500 million on-chain transactions.
Is anybody into Injective? Let me know in the chat.
They're also now compatible with Celestia, as well as Cosmos, as well as Solana. And this is all through their new Injective EBM Layer 2 on mainnet. Also just announced by Easy, which is a project I'm invested in.
Nope. All right, gonna be chilling for the rest of the time. Anyways, let's recap things and see what things are looking like. Shout out to Altcoin Daily for that video. $73,000 Bitcoin, absolutely amazing. Still holding pretty well. $4,000 ETH. I'm really wondering what's gonna happen with the price. I wonder if it's gonna shoot it up or if it's just gonna be as stagnant as anything, right? And just wait. I don't know. I think the ETF is going to be the biggest catalyst here for Ethereum, but it is what it is. All right, let's see. Any questions in the chat? Feel free. Once the supply is soaked up, says Green Hash, I expect knife wicks from the huge firms shaking the tree to gather the weak hands. Yeah, you're talking about just having a pullback with... Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, the big guys are definitely going to shake out the little guys. The new people in the space are definitely going to get hammered for sure. Absolutely, for sure. And you know what? Some people are going to sell. They're going to panic sell and kick themselves in the ass later. So biggest piece of advice I could say is if you have Bitcoin, don't sell for a loss, because you only lose if you sell. It doesn't matter how much it goes down. Typically it goes up at some point, right? It'll surpass its all-time high at some point. Literally everybody that's bought in Bitcoin within, except for, you know, the last like 3 hours of this all-time high or 6 hours of this all-time high, is in the green. Doesn't matter how little or how much, like you're in the green, right? So everybody that bought the top last run and sold for a loss is absolutely kicking themselves in the ass, and that's like the biggest thing you guys have to take away from that. All right, so let's check out a few coins. Let's look at Clore. I want to see what Clore's doing. I know DJ is probably still holding it. 36 cents. Let's see, is that the all-time high? 40 cents. It hit 40 cents. Damn, Clore's doing pretty good, huh? Nice. 41.66. Nice. 41 cents. Damn. Doing pretty good. Anybody into Clore? Anybody win on this trade or this buy or this mine? You guys do anything with it? You guys sell it? I don't know, hold it until you want, but just don't forget to take profits. Maybe take out half and ride the rest. That might be a good idea. Let's see. How's Dynex doing actually? Dynex on the day. It was over $1. Wow, nice. Nice. Dynex finally showing some appreciation with their market. Let's see, our price appreciation rather. $1.20 it looks like it got up to. What's the all-time high for Dynex? $1.39 about 4 months ago. All right, not too bad. Could be worse. RXD showing signs of life finally. You know what? I don't know. A lot of people are bullish on this one. I don't know. Listen, when it gets to Tangem, I'll buy it. But if it doesn't get to Tangem, then I'm staying away from it. Simple as that. I'm done with these core wallets. And I know it's like very easy to gain a lot of money or a lot of value with your coins when you have, like, you know, you jump on projects early and they're in core wallets and stuff. But like, man, some of them are just, I don't know. A lot of them are very risky. Anyways, let's see. Market cap is at 19 million. So this is a very, very low market cap. It's ranked top thousands, 1164. So these coins right here are really the coins that could make millionaires. 1000%. Like, it's just, that's fact. It's stupid low market cap. Let's see. Should have got more flux at 40 cents. Yeah, I sold it at 40 cents. I sold it at 42 to get Caspa miners. But you know what? It wasn't a loss for me, to be honest. Caspa's doing great, and these machines are pretty much paid off at this point. So I'm not really mad about it. This is a good consolidation phase, at least in my opinion. And Caspa, if you guys are not into it, I don't know. Seems like it's making another bull flag. We're gonna see what happens. This has never been through a bull run, to be honest. It's at a $3.4 billion market cap, and I'm excited to see if it's going to get a tier 1 exchange listing at some point soon. But that's pretty much it. Let's see. Dan R. Bye, Dan. Have a good day, buddy. Have a good day. All right, let's see. Any other questions in the chat? Tangem end of the month, early next month. You know what? What's let me see. Hold on. They have a schedule on their Twitter page. Let me search it. 1 second. Okay, Tangem. Let's see. Right here. This is the page. So, Radiant, yeah, beginning of next month. You know what's weird though? They had Dynex here at the end of this month, and it now is over here in April to May, which is kind of weird. But anyways, Hedera is supposed to be on here, so once Hedera is on here, I'll probably purchase some of that, and Radiant, I'll probably get some of that as well once it gets on actually Tangem, because I'm just not gonna dick around with it until then. It's not worth it for me, to be honest. That's my opinion, but this is kind of cool. If you guys are interested in Tangem, use code CCXD, link in the description, get 10% off. It's like $50 for a hardware wallet. Don't be stupid, please. Don't keep your shit on an exchange. All right, anyways, guys, it's that time. I gotta get out of here, and unfortunately the next 3 days I'm not going to be here, so I won't be back until Monday. But what I'm going to do, I think later on tonight, I think I'm gonna pre-record the daily grind and just do a premiere video tomorrow morning. I think that's probably the best way to do it for you guys, so I'm not losing too much here and you guys aren't losing too much, because most of the stuff that I go over is typically out anyways during, you know, later on in the evening. So I might just do that later on tonight. Maybe it'll just be an early live stream and whoever can catch the rerun tomorrow morning. But I don't know, we'll see. You guys let me know what you think about that in the chat. But until next time, guys, stay safe, have a happy Wednesday, enjoy the rest of your week, and I will catch you guys bright and early on Monday morning and on Saturday evening, actually. And you know what? Actually, while I'm remotely, I might try to do some streaming in the morning, but it's just going to be a little bit different if I can stream at all. So I'll let you guys know at some point. It's going to be from the laptop. But yeah, let's go raid Miss Randy Hipper. She's going to be going live in about 25 minutes. So I will see you guys over there. Peace out. Have a good day.